My name is Ashish Dalia. I run a digital branding and marketing agency based out of Pune. So what I had been seeing all these particular days is there are different people who are taking different kind of an initiatives to ensure their businesses, their professions are still relevant. Today we have Mr. Ajay Raina. Ajay Raina is a CEO of Tedra Automotive. Tata Automotive is one of the pioneer when it comes on to providing an automotive parking solution to an organization. A brief introduction about Mr. Ajay Raina is Ajay Raina is a person with over 30 years of a professional experience. He believes in one simple philosophy that nothing is impossible. In fact, he goes one of the stage ahead and he says nothing is impossible, which he breaks down impossible into saying I am possible. Ajay Raina is a very good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Ashish?
I am absolutely good, and it feels very privileged and delighted to talk today to a seasoned entrepreneur and a seasoned professional like you. So, Ajay ji, I had done a certain amount of research about you and your experience in vertical, different kind of in verticals, a journey from a trainee today to a CEO, serving larger organization to the potential capacity of president, director, even consultant is certainly amazing. So I just wanted to understand brief from you, in brief from you, what is Tedra all about and what you do?
Tedra is an initiative which has come out of the problems we face in modern urban living. I think the most complex problem today is parking your car. Typically, when we drive a car, we drive it from one location to another. It takes us 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or say an hour. But 20 hours, your car is parked at a place and there is no place available. So this was becoming a very complex issue within cities, within urban jungles that we have. And we thought that there was a big business opportunity in this segment.
Hmm.
Urban spaces were shrinking, cities were going up vertically. So we thought, why not have a car parking system that also can go up vertically? So we took this initiative and started a car parking venture, which helps you in a smaller space to put a large number of cars, thus solving your parking problems. Now, this is not a problem which only you and me have. This is a social problem. This is a problem which governments have, which urban centers have, which commercial businesses have. So now we have a platform where we can give you solutions across all these sectors. That's why my company is called Tedra Automotive Solutions. We basically call ourselves the solution providers.
Fantastic. I think one of the biggest challenge in a city, okay, is not about having a car. It's about affording how to park.
Correct.
Okay. 70% of the people have a driver today only for one particular reason. They want someone to park when they are heading for a meeting or for shopping. And I think you have certainly solved the biggest problem. Let it be at shopping malls and let it, I go down to a lot of hospitals also. So the moment we see an automotive car parking system is amazing. So thank you for solving a problem for people like us.
Yes, it's been a good initiative. It's for public good. It's a business venture also, but we intend ultimately to excel in this segment and to offer our best. That's what.
So do you think this market is really mature enough to understand that people really need to invest in extra in order to make an automotive parking?
I'll tell you, Ashish, uh, when escalators first came to, say, Pune, for example, some shopping malls had escalators. I remember people were scared to go on an escalator and they would wait for 5 minutes before they would really drop onto an escalator. Similarly, 20 years back, people were even afraid to take elevators. People wouldn't take lifts. I remember my grandmother came to Delhi once and she refused to take a lift because she got scared of it. Yes, this is a new innovation. People drive a car which is a lifetime investment for some. They get scared that they're putting their vehicle somewhere which is taking it vertically up, sometimes in 40, 50 meters. But I think now in cities, particularly Mumbai and Bangalore, people have started accepting this fact that that's the way to go. So we are breaking the barrier. It's certainly going to take time, but eventually we will have no options. That's the way we go. Like we take an elevator, tomorrow our car will also take a parking system. That's how it will be.
Wonderful, wonderful. So having understood that necessity is the mother of innovation, of course,
Correct.
probably any kind of an innovation. And I think certainly I see a great amount of market share or great adaptability in a market, because today there are only two things which people don't have today. One is the time and second is time to park or probably a parking system. That's one of the biggest challenge.
Correct.
Okay, so we are right now in a post-COVID era. Okay,
Mhm.
herein what I had seen, now we work with over 900 different companies. There
Mhm.
are lots of businesses which are becoming very irrelevant.
Mhm.
Okay, they are become obsolete because of this COVID, and all of a sudden it just emerged.
Mhm.
Okay, so how do you see your business? Is it going? Is it coming into an industry which is going to be an obsolete, or it's going to be a growing industry with this COVID situation?
Uh, Ashish, nothing becomes obsolete.
Mhm.
That's my philosophy in life. As long as we humans have physiological needs, we have psychological needs, we need food, we need clothes, we need status, we need cars, nothing is going to change. COVID is a temporary phenomenon.
Mhm.
The world has gone through, I think, four different pandemics that we know. We know about Spanish flu, we know about plague, now we know about COVID. That's what we know. We don't know what happened many hundred years ago. So I think we are going to overcome this. Businesses, businesses will not become irrelevant. They will remain relevant as long as human beings are relevant.
Mhm.
Okay. So I don't see any market dying. I don't see today you and me wear clothes. I don't see this market dying. We wear shoes. I don't see this market dying. People want to go out, have a holiday. I don't see that market dying. Yes, I can see businesses suffering because of the pandemic, but eventually it all is going to revive. And you and me have to keep that positivity up.
Yeah.
And we have to tell everybody your turn is going to come. We are going to come back. Yes, it'll need some innovation, need some changes. We have to appeal to people differently, we have to communicate differently, but markets are not going to die. They're going to remain.
So how do you see customers looking up at you pre-COVID and post-COVID? Because I think social distance is one of the very basic norm today. Okay.
Correct.
So when you go, even I had been to a mall recently and I saw that even the car parking are
Mhm.
also following a social distancing.
Correct.
That the park are not being parked next to another car. Car
Correct.
not being parked to next to another car. So how
Correct.
do you see your industry? Because you work into multiple layers of the parking automation.
Correct. Correct. See, as a car is not a human being. It's a car.
Yeah.
Okay. And car does not need any social distancing essentially. You can park a car and somebody can park a car next to your car. Even if there is 2 meters distance, it's good enough.
Hmm.
In post-COVID area, I think communication could have been a problem. Reaching out to the customer could have been a problem, which thanks to people like you, by and large, we've been able to solve by digitizing, by reaching out to people through various social media, by being available on net. Mobile phones have played a great part. But at the end, you still need people who are serving people. I still need to service my parking. I still need to provide a parking system to person who needs it. So my core activity of manufacturing, my core activity of serving the customer, servicing my vehicles, it remains there. Yes, today lesser number of people may be going out and parking cars. You may see some roads which are empty, but look what has happened last 10 days. the traffic is again back on roads. People are again looking out for parking. So the strategy may have changed a little, the approach may have changed a little, but the core demand and the core activity and the core desire to have these systems is always there. It won't die, not for the next 50 years, I'm sure.
So one of the very specific questions now, I see this is a very challenging time for any entrepreneur, for business owners. Even
Correct.
it's a challenging time even for the service professionals as well.
Correct.
What did you see when we entered into lockdown that was in March? And what do you see right now, a situation when we are going to an unlocking processes? As an
Correct.
entrepreneur, so what different kind of a transformation or different kind of an initiative you took within your organization which has really paid you off and which is still ensuring that you are still relevant and very much in a business right now?
Yeah, I think when the lockdown started, uh, we were all not sure what was going to happen. Okay, and we were all following a set of guidelines, whether it was guidelines from the government, guidelines from Mr. Modi, guidelines from World Health Organization, because everybody was in a state of chaos, and we were trying to follow a certain set of rules so that essentially you could protect your people first and protect your businesses. So yes, we also closed down for almost a month like everybody else did. And once we started, we faced those initial hiccups of people still not coming back to work, some people falling sick to COVID-19, some people getting scared of coming back to work, consumer demand not coming up. It was a difficult time. That 1.5, 2 months have been difficult for us, but eventually, what did we do? The first thing we did is we told everybody, let's let this not bog us down. So we all had a conference call, thanks to WhatsApp, thanks to whatever you guys make available, whether he was sitting in Bangalore or he was sitting in Jammu or he had flown to US. I think I was abroad at that time. We all spoke to each other and said, this is a temporary phase. We'll come over it as a team. So the first thing I did is I kept my flock together. I told them, this is tough time. Tough times don't last. I have myself gone through a lot of tough times. As you know, I come from the Valley of Kashmir, and there was a situation when I came out without anything, hardly a set of clothes on me. Okay, but we faced it, we survived, we prospered. So I told them, this is not more difficult than what I have gone through. This is temporary. We'll survive, we'll live through it, and we'll go. So first attempt was keeping the flock together by telling them, this is no life and death situation. This is a crisis, but if we are together, we'll overcome this. The second important thing is reaching out to your customers. That was difficult because we were not traveling. There was no communication. That's where I think you came in, and we decided quickly to have our entire website in place. You did an SEO activity for me. We communicated with a lot of our customers. We sent a lot of mailers across, and that generated a good response. Not only did we ask about customer welfare, we also checked on their products, the services they were getting. If there was any emergency, we attended to it. Yes, fresh demand was not coming in then, but today, all that activity which we did during that period of getting in touch with customers is paying me dividends. Customers are today coming back to me and saying, okay, now we need this. Now I'm coming up with a project and I've decided I need a parking system here. So that has helped me a lot. Reaching out to customer. Third thing we did is, I think, we said it's a lockdown it's a physical lockdown. It's not a mental lockdown. So let us not block our minds. Let us think what we can do differently. And you won't believe it, during this period, there are 3 different products that my R&D has developed.
Fantastic.
Working on a 2-wheeler parking system, which is need of an hour. working on a very complex robotic kind of a system, which is need of an hour, which will get your car in 40, 45 seconds, even if it's parked half a kilometer away from you. So we've developed some new products, new features, because we said we are not blocking our minds. It may be a physical lockdown, it's not a mental lockdown. Let's keep our minds open and let's work on what we can do.
And I think this is what differentiates a successful entrepreneur from a normal entrepreneur is basically lockdown can lock us down, but can't knock us down. That's what I try to understand from you.
Correct.
Fantastic.
That's right.
Appreciate you. So what I understand over here is as you had the resources, you had diverted the entire energy into innovation, into evolution. Okay. And how do you think you are geared up right now to take it to another level?
I'm just waiting. We're dying to do it. The whole team is ready
Wonderful.
to work. We are all back to work, and we have started communicating with our customers, of course, through electronic channels now, and there are a lot of queries that are coming in. We're just waiting for the economy to come back on the road again, and we'll be there. I'm sure in next 2 years' time, we are going to be market leaders in many segments now.
So during this lockdown, when physical movements were restricted,
Correct.
physical interactions were restricted,
Correct.
okay, how were you spending a time? Was it more with employees or was it more with your customers?
I would say it was both. Okay. Only that now we could not physically reach our customers, so we're reaching them out through various social media platforms, through internet, and we're reaching them out through personal phone calls also. And Zoom played a big role as it is doing today right now. So we were almost, even after I finished this meeting, I have 3 other Zoom calls lined up with customers. We may not meet physically, but most of our issues now get sorted out over a call. And as you rightly said, this is no wastage of time. This is getting to the point straight and hitting the nail on the head, rather than sitting over cups of tea, having gupshup and moving forward. So to that extent, it's helped us.
So on a lighter note,
Yeah.
do you think Zoom could also be competing for you to do business? Because if people are not traveling, if people are not transiting from location, and it's just thinking it very, very vague. Okay, take an example. IPL has really challenged the entertainment industry, Bollywood, Hollywood, because for these 2 months, people don't want to go and watch movies.
Correct.
So how do you look?
So I think Zoom is another medium of advertising for me. I mean, instead of putting up an ad or a hoarding in papers or on a billboard, I can do things on Zoom. I can do things on my e-platforms. It's a fantastic opportunity. People are today spending 10 to 12 hours on the internet, on their laptops, on their screens, whether small or big. So that provides us a huge opportunity to reach out to people, to tell them what we do, what we make, how we do it.
So do you think a platform like Zoom or Skype or Google Hangout or Cisco Web Meeting are making people more efficient?
Yes, they certainly are.
Yeah?
Yes, they certainly are.
It is.
They certainly are. All these platforms are
Insight, what I got it from you, the way you had kept yourself busy, the way you kept your customer believe in you, the way you retained your talent, the way you had evolved your product lines. I think this is what is going to play a bigger role as you move forward.
There are also harder aspects. Okay. Now, this is what I'm talking to you about when I was reaching out to customers or when I was communicating or when I was trying to keep my team together. We tried to keep the entire team together, and happy today, even in this lockdown, I have 95% retention of all my customers.
Wow.
Of all medicines. Luckily for us, we didn't have to go through very tough period because everybody contributed, everybody made a little sacrifice, and everybody took it as a little contribution towards their own Tedra family, essentially, I would say. What is important is in situations like this, we also have to conserve. We have to conserve money, we have to conserve material, and we have to conserve people. That becomes a very important aspect. Uh, I won't say I'm being lean and mean, but yes, I understand what productivity is today far better than I understood in a non-COVID environment. So each individual has to generate an output that has suddenly become a focus. Now you have an eye on every individual. Each product, each contribution, each factory, we have 3 running factories now. From each factory, what is coming out end of the day is a deep focus now. How are we managing our cash flows, our resources is a deep focus now. These things were not really a point of bother earlier. So now they've suddenly become a point of bother. Is my inventory increasing? If it is increasing, what is the way out? Should I stop manufacturing for next 3 days? All that is something which we are really focusing us on. So in a way, there are positivities of COVID. Let's not say it's killed everything. Yes, it may have hit us bad. It may be one of the worst things that could happen to humankind, but it has also taught us a lot of things. In business, in protection of environment, in protection of human health, those are very strong lessons that we have to learn from this. And again, I repeat, it's not going to last, it's temporary. We are all going to overcome this temporary phenomenon.
Moving forward, what kind of a marketing initiative? So everything is said. एक हिंदी में कहावत है जो बोलते हैं पैसा है तो सब पूछते कैसा है. Similar is the scenario wherein the kind of customers you have is the kind of talent you can retain. You can acquire, and is the similar kind of customers you can gain. So what kind of a marketing initiatives or sales initiatives you think you are now going to adopt moving forward from here on?
See, as a sales thought, we always have this as our basic moral lesson that we are going to make the best product that is available in the market. Your product is going to drive you. So essentially, our focus will be on what we offer to the customers. It has to be world class. It has to be best. Second important thing, Ashish, is which I must tell you, and you must tell everybody else who's with you, that I'm among the very few companies who have almost a 99% indigenous mode. Whatever we do, whatever we manufacture, however complicated it may be, we do it on our own, within our own R&D setup, within our own few brains that sit and work on projects. A lot of companies in this segment have either tie-ups, technical tie-ups, or they take technology from abroad. We have not done any such thing so far. I recently did a small tie-up with a Korean company, which was something which we couldn't have done here locally. But then I'm going to learn from them, and next 3-4 years, either they're going to come to India with me, or they're going to give their technology here. I'm going to learn from their technology and move forward. So that's another good thing we have done. As I said, indigenization and reaching a level of Indianization to an extent of 99% is what has been important. So I'm almost like made in India product now.
So now what would be a marketing strategy to have more amount of lead flow coming in? Because there had been a date of 6-7 months when practically probably lead flow, new customer acquisition might have been a challenge. So now this is required to be filled in because you had people, you had loans, you had machineries, you had raw materials. So your expenses were going the way it was going normal. So now what kind of an aggressive marketing strategy do you think you are going to adopt now?
See, it may take some time for the market to reach the levels that it was at. Maybe another 6 months, we'll see it back to the levels where it was at. Reaching out to customers is certainly a difficult process today. A lot of customers don't allow you to move into their offices. And we don't also want to risk people who we have in the front line to go and travel extensively. So our reaching out medium has become by and large social media, where we are reaching out to a vast number of customers. We are generating a lot of data, whether it's through Google or it's through other platforms, which we are filtering now. We are concentrating on that filtered inputs that we get and contacting people. So this is done centrally, and then this is circulated across, as I have an office in Bangalore, office in Calcutta, office in Delhi. So they go back, contact those people on net, on telephones, generate inquiries which come here. We generate concepts for them. Then we have joint meetings with their architects, with the planners, and that's how it goes on. So I think the social media platform, the Googles, are going to play a big role in today's marketing strategies. Reaching out to people will be, of course, through the electronic medium, majorly. Till we come back to a situation where people can visit, I think that will eventually lose its relevance because the new mediums are so exciting and offer you so many options that you can connect. I was in a meeting day before yesterday where we had a consultant from Netherlands, we had a consultant from Hong Kong, we had a consultant from UK, and the core team from Hyderabad, 5 people, and me in Pune, and one consultant in Bombay, who were together on the net and discussing a project. This couldn't have been possible in a physical meeting, but this is today possible electronically, and everybody was giving inputs, and we reached a conclusion by end of the meeting as to what we need to do for the project.
So we all are digitally connected now.
Correct.
So you have recently also revamped your website.
That's right.
What do you see a transformation? The people pursue you now.
Firstly, I should say a big thank you to iKnowledge Factory. It's helped. We really worked on this website. It was conceptualized earlier, put to some shape, but I think you gave it the final form. It's worked out well for us. We have been generating a lot of inquiries on the website. A lot of positive reactions are coming. I don't have to explain a lot of things to people. I just have to tell them, please go and visit my website. You'll find all the details there. If you have any queries, then you come back to me. So to that extent, it has also reduced my talking and conversation time with customers who normally would ask the simplest of things they would like to be explained.
In fact, thanks a lot to you for believing in us. Because generally people, when they look up at website, they look up at website as another commodity. They'll invest in some XYZ amount, and when something exorbitant comes, or probably something which is rightly valued comes. So I think your first website was also at some different kind of pricing and compared to what you invested in.
Correct.
What really give you that particular daring to invest in 5 times more compared to what you were investing earlier.
Correct. And Ashish, that SEO activity also helped us a lot. I think being on LinkedIn, being on YouTube, and being on other platforms simultaneously also generated a lot of interest. Interestingly, not interest only among our customers, interest also among our competitors. So everybody sees you in a different light in that case. You are suddenly in reckoning. Now, today I am approached by the best of steel companies to buy their steel. I am approached by best of ball bearings company to buy their ball bearings. It has also given me a power to negotiate. So I think, and it's my advice, that everybody should be on platforms like these in today's time. They're really very helpful.
So how confident do you feel now today to give a website address to somewhere compared to the website address what you had earlier?
As I told you, the first thing I tell anybody who's calling, that you please visit my website, and if you have any more queries, you're most welcome to call me back.
Wonderful. So you think a professional website really makes a lot of difference?
It makes tremendous difference.
But generally, a mindset of people is not to look up at website as that important element.
See, we come from an era where most of the selling used to happen one-to-one. Whether you are selling a business to business or business to consumer, you are meeting a dealer or a sub-dealer, or you are meeting your original equipment supplier, it was always one-to-one. But that time has changed. It has done different things differently. So it's become a big opportunity for your business. It's become a big opportunity for us as well.
Okay.
The communication is faster, it's quicker, it's direct, it is accessible, it is democratic. I mean, come on, it has all the ingredients you would want typically in a salesman. you don't need to train him.
And it's available 24/7.
It's available 24/7, and then you can always improve on whatever you want.
Yeah.
You want. So I think it's playing a very important role.
So my last question over here certainly comes is from my perspective. So while the time you are looking out for digital marketing partner or a website developer, so you might have certainly met quite a lot of people.
I did.
Why you decided to come down to IPL?
I did. And I think I saw three people. Two of them were startups. I was not very confident with startups. I mean, because there is a risk to the startup always. Either they'll do a great job or they'll land you in a mess. I had no time to land up in a mess, and I had no time to wait for a startup to come up to my dreams. So here I had a company which had a lot of experience, and as you said, how many clients? 700, 800 clients?
900 clients.
900 clients. So I thought, here's a man, he has the experience, he's done it for so many companies. So I would rather go to Ashish than go anywhere else. That's how we chose Ashish, and that's how we are here, and that's how I'm thankful for whatever has happened.
How did you convince yourself to paying 4 times more fees compared to what you were paying earlier otherwise?
I have been in business 30 years. So when I buy something, I know it's worth.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Very much, Ashish.
So it was indeed a very great pleasure interacting with you, Ajayji. So we had a lot of conversation in past, but every time I used to speak to you over a call, I thought you have some kind of a wisdom, and I think it has to go to our audiences at large. And that was one of the very specific. I was very keen on sending you an invite and having a Zoom call with you. And this particular video, I'm sure, is going to reach out to a lot of entrepreneurs across. It is also going to come to all my corporate clients, okay, because we just started with the initiative. It's about ensuring that this thought leadership, now your wisdom of 30 years, you have sum it up in 30 minutes. And if it reaches out to people, probably they can at least save their 4 or 5 years of their error making kind of an experience.
Correct.
So thanks a lot for being so modest and accepting our request to come online. I understand it's a very busy time as well. So, okay, and you coming out and you sharing up very candidly and very open level of a discussion, your challenges, your opportunities, your strategies, which is very, very rare these days. And I think this itself is a true quality of a leader.
Thank you, Ashish, for having me. If I can call it the Ashish show now.
No, these days people are really scared about this show after Arnav is getting in. So people really don't want to get into show business now.
So I think you're making a very valuable contribution by reaching out to people, by contacting various segments, various heads of organizations, and sharing whatever knowledge we can. There is a saying in Hindi which says, "Diya to diya kare roshan."
Wow.
Okay. If you have one diya in hand, you can light 1,000 diyas.
That's what.
So that's the philosophy we should have. That's how we as entrepreneurs and the entire humankind will move forward. And that's what our intention should be ultimately.
Thank you, Ajayji. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Indeed, a pleasure again having a very recorded kind of a statement today. And I think it's also an encouraging for me to ensure that an entrepreneur like you giving so candidly, opening out their opinions, their views without any kind of an hesitation, without trying to restrict their knowledge only to themselves. And this is what was my objective of seeing to it that we really make this particular wisdom available to people who really need a deserving piece of content the way you have shared with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.